When I get a new clothing item, I just want to wear it every single day. Like, it just becomes part of me. But I think I'm gonna get some more hoodies like this. Anywho, it's my mother freaking birthday. And it's also the start of the, wow, no way, I just blanked. This readathon or reading challenge is called the Losers Club Readathon, and it's hosted by Ashley from Ashley's Little Library. Ashley's Little Library, Beth from Beth's All Booked, and Elizabeth from Reading Riley. There are 6 prompts. You can go hard mode or you can go easy mode. Easy mode is when you can have multiple prompts from one book. Hard mode is when you can do 1 book per prompt. I'm doing easy mode because I have a bunch of books that I still need to read. So yeah, I'm just doing easy mode. And also, like, it's my birthday, so I can do what I want. But let's talk about what I'm gonna be reading. So the first prompt is The King, and this is a book influenced by social media. And for that, I will be reading, I should have prepared, but in true executive dysfunction fashion, I will be reading The Falling by TJ Newman. I just heard great things about it. There's also Drowning by them as well, but I heard that this one is better. The synopsis is, you just boarded a flight to New York. There are 143 other passengers on board. What you don't know is that 30 minutes before the flight, your pilot's family was kidnapped. For his family to live, everyone on your plane must die. The only way the family will survive is if the pilot follows his orders and crashes the plane. Enjoy your flight. So, that sounds good. It's fast-paced. So that's what I'm going to be reading because I've seen a lot of people on YouTube, namely, I think actually Ashley from Ashley's Little Library talked about it. Also, Haley Hughes, I think that's how you say her last name. That's where I first heard about it. So I like immediately got it from the library. So this is the book that I was influenced by. The second prompt is Hotel, and that's a book with an isolated setting. I think I'm also going to use this because they're in an airplane, so I feel like that's pretty isolated. Like, they're just in one setting, if I'm understanding the premise correctly. So I am doubling up. I will be using Falling for that prompt as well. The third prompt is a supernatural or paranormal story, and for that I will be reading Black Paradox manga by Junji Ito. I'm not exactly sure. It says 4 people intent on killing themselves meet through suicide website Black Paradox. Marusu, a nurse who despairs about the future. Tabaru, a man who is tortured by his doppelganger. Pitan, an engineer with his own robot clone. And Barachi, a woman who agonizes about the birthmark on her face. They wander together in the search of the perfect death, fatefully opening a door that leads them to a rather something, because I can't read the rest of the synopsis because of the sticker. But on the back it also says, I saw a dazzling world, yes, another world. I'm sure I saw a world that was not this one. And then it has like, they're all looking at that. So I'm like, this is giving supernatural-esque. So I'm hoping that it fits that prompt, because that's really the only book that I want to read right now that fits it. So yes, this is what I'll be reading for the cemetery prompt. The game is Buddy Read or Buddy Watch, and the pick that they picked was Gerald's Game. So I have already seen the movie. I don't want to see it because there's this one scene that's ingrained in my brain. I don't need to re-ingrain it in my brain. I need to wash away. So I don't know if the book reading is going to be helpful for that, but I haven't read it, so I really want to read it. So I've checked it out from the library, and that is what I'll be reading for the game prompt. The Queen prompt is a book with a female main character. I also need to read The Return, and this I'm pretty sure has a female protagonist. So that is what I'll be reading. This is the book I'm going to be reading for the Queen prompt. And the last prompt is The Clown, and that's a book with a 1-word title. Falling would work with that, but also I will be reading Deserter. So this will also work for that prompt. So yeah, there are like 2 bonus prompts. One is like reading a book with more than 500 pages. I don't think any of my books, no, my longest book is just under 400 pages. So that will not work. And the other prompt is bake Stephen King a cake. I don't care about Stephen King that much to bake him a cake, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just doing this for funsies. So yeah, these are the 4 books. I already had these checked out, and I was just like, I hope one of these fit the prompt. So that was a big intro. But yes, let's see how I'm feeling about all these books. And I hope that y'all all got to participate in the challenge as well. Hello, hello. I forgot to give updates. I've just been reading. So I started Black Paradox. This is the first book that I'm starting with, and I'm on page 117. I'm really liking the premise. The main character is actually like a female lead, so I might not end up reading The Return. I might just read this, but if I can squeeze in The Return during the 7-day period, I will try. And there is a supernatural element, so I was right about that. I'm really liking it. The story's interesting. I really don't know where it's gonna go. Like, there's just like a lot of elements happening, so I'm not sure the direction it's gonna go, but I'm really excited. The artwork is gorgeous. Like, let me see if I can show something without spoiling. Like, look at this page. Oh, so pretty. But yeah, I am just going to keep reading. I am watching Castle. It's Princesses. I'll link their channel down below. But I'm just like on reading sprints right now, so yes, I'll check back in when I'm further along. Oh, Black Paradox was so good. I loved the way this ended. Oh my goodness. This was really good. I'm just so happy. This was a great way to start off. I haven't been reading for like the last couple days, so this put me back and like I just want to read everything. Sorry, it's my dog in the back. But this was so good. I ended up giving it 4.5 stars. The only reason why it's not a 5-star because there's one aspect of this story that wasn't fully fleshed out. And so I'm wondering, like, I wanted an answer to that, but I didn't get it, and that's okay. But that's the reason why it's not a 5-star for me personally. But yeah, this was so freaking good. I think now I've just been in a manga mood. I just finished The Drifting Classroom, then I finished Black Paradox. So I want to read more manga, but I only have one right here with me, and I feel like I should save that. So I think I'm gonna move on to Falling. I need to see if I have the audio for this. And I think this is pretty fast paced, so I'm like, hopefully it gives me, I don't know. Like, I need something to keep me moving so that I don't go back into a slumpy era. So yeah, I'm hoping it's fast and I can find audio. But I think I already read the synopsis. You just boarded a flight to New York. There are 143 other passengers on board. What you don't know is that 30 minutes before your flight, your pilot's family was kidnapped. For his family to live, everyone on your plane must die. The only way the family will survive is if the pilot follows his orders and crashes the plane. Enjoy the flight. So, sounds like I'm about to be scared. So let's get into it. Okay, y'all. I'm 30 pages in and I have concerns. First, so we already know that it takes place on a plane. There was a part where they were describing who was on the plane. I can't find it, but basically they were like describing a fat person. They were like, they asked for a seatbelt extender and they were like snoring. It just like kind of fed into the stereotype of like the overweight passenger snoring and being all loud, being disruptive to standard passengers. I was like, what was the point? Like, I think you should include characters of all body types in all different kinds of ways, but to depict, like, why use negative connotations to depict different body types? Especially with like consideration of how fat people are often like degraded and used as either like comedic relief or just in a negative light. It just felt icky. But yeah, I'm just feeling, it's like because of the part that I was in, it was like describing different characters and like what they're doing, and then it just cuts to a part like, it's like you're envisioning the scene of the plane, and then it starts describing this person, and it's just like a fat person who needed a seatbelt extender snoring. I'm just like, what was the reason? I don't understand. And then I don't think this is considered a spoiler, but you can skip to this timestamp if you don't want to hear this. But I don't think it's a spoiler. But because we know that the captain's family is going, or the pilot's family is going to die if the pilot doesn't crash the plane. Well, there's a person involved, and the person has a stereotypical, like, I don't know if it's Iranian or Irani, like, name. It's like a stereotypical Middle Eastern name. And I'm just like, out of all the names, you chose to use a name that is predominantly associated with people living in the middle world. And it's about like plane crashing and like plane hacking. And I'm just like, it's giving 9/11 propaganda. I'm not loving this. I'm hoping that there is some actual reason for this, because this is written by this white woman, and I'm just like, please, please. And so yeah, we'll see. We're gonna read a little bit more. There's 30 minutes left of these sprints that I'm watching, so I'll see how far I get, and then we'll check back in soon. Okay, I know it seems like I'm just complaining, but I'm like almost 60 pages in, and they just identified one of the characters as being black, but the way they introduced it was like, they got introduced because they experienced racism. I'm just like, we need to come up with better ways, or maybe that was an, I don't know, artistic choice, but come up with better ways to introduce non-white characters other than a traumatic racial experience that they had. But it's like all the other parts of the story are so good, but just like the way identities are being handled, I'm just like, we need to do better. But yeah, I'll check in when I have more to say. Okay, so there has been a slight turn of events, and I feel like I'm feeling less icky about the ethnicity piece about the character's name. Yeah, I'm just waiting to see how this plays out. We shall see. Okay, I am on page 216 of Falling, and it is a lot. It is a lot. I'm loving the existential philosophical elements a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I need to finish this. I'll check back in. I have like 100 or so pages left, because I just need to, like, this story could go two ways, and I'm just like, if it goes one way, like with certain elements, I'm gonna be very annoyed, but I'm really hoping that it goes the other way. Yeah, but the commentary is good. I wish it went a little further. Maybe it will go further. I don't know. That also like is tied into the endings that I'm thinking about. But I will check back in and we'll see how I feel. Okay, so I just finished Falling, and I really loved the thriller parts of this book, right? It was suspenseful. It had me clutching my pearls at some points. I really liked it. However, I felt like the topic that was brought up, like the sensitive topic, needed to be handled with a little bit more care and to be more fleshed out. Like, it kind of feels like it was put in there to, like, I don't know, it just did not, it leaves me with like a weird feeling because like the ending, like I feel like the characters responded in a better way than like some other authors probably would have written them, but at the same time it's giving white liberalism. I think that's what my issue is. I think that's what my issue with this book is that it's giving white liberalism, and that irks me. So I don't know. I think I'm giving it 4 stars overall because it did its job as a thriller, but I think the social commentary that was trying to be made just like fell. It went down. It didn't go where it needed to go. And there's like another part of that about like one of the main flight attendants. I can't give more context, but if you read the book, you know what I'm talking about. And then like, I don't want to say trope because it's not a trope because it happens in real life, but like, I don't want to spoil. I don't want to spoil. Yeah. It's something that hits close to me personally because of my own identities, if that says anything. But yeah, I'm giving it 4 stars overall. Maybe even, oof, I could lower it a little bit because I'm just like getting so irked. But as a thriller, I feel like it's fair for me to give it 4 stars. I just didn't like the narrative turn that it took. Anywho, that is book 3 for the Losers Club Readathon. And so I still need to read. I was gonna read The Return. It's the 18th, and I don't know if I'm gonna have time for that. TBH. So I realized I requested the ebook for Gerald's Game, but it isn't accessible on my Kindle. So I had to request the other ebook. But I'm like number 2 in line. I'm number 4 in line. There's only 2 copies, and 2 copies are checked out. So there's one person in front of me before I get the book. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it by tomorrow because I need to start reading it so that I can like have time to read it before the live show on the 21st. So there's that. But anyways, tonight I'm gonna start Deserter. I'll probably finish this in the morning. It's not super long, and it's a manga. So yeah, I'm excited. I will check back in when I'm further along in Deserter by Junji Ito. Good morning. It is another day. So I have some errands I need to run with my sister and my mother. And I need to go to the library so I can return. I have like 4 books to return and like 1 to pick up. So I need to do that. But I will be restarting Deserter as I'm in the car and we're running our errands. And I'll tune in when I can to get my thoughts about this book. Okay, so I just filmed the last clip before I watched the last clip that I edited. So the transition is kind of weird. So I'm putting this transition because I said I was going to give updates about Deserter. And I literally did do that. And I'm not gonna do that. But I wanted to provide some context about why this clip, the last clip that you just seen is going to the next clip that you're about to see right now. I figured I should get my last update so I can finally wrap up this video, but I did finish Deserter by Junji Ito. I originally wanted to give this one 4 stars, but I just like went back because it's a collection of short stories. I went back and like looked at them all. I'm leaning more towards 3.5. It was still good. The artwork is still absolutely gorgeous, of course. But this wasn't one of my favorite, not to compare them to any of Junji's other works, but just in general, like even if this was something I picked up without context of how his other work is, it wouldn't have been my favorite. Yeah, it was okay. But yeah, that's really the end of this vlog. It was really fun doing this Losers Club readathon. I didn't get to the return, but that's okay because one of the books I was gonna one of the books I read, the Black Paradox had a female lead, so I did end up needing to do the return for this vlog. But yeah, I do hope to get to that at some point during the next couple days. We're at the end of September now, so we'll see if that gets done this month or in the beginning of October. But you should watch my September vlog to see if I end up reading that this month or not. And I'm still reading other books, so you definitely should watch that vlog. But yes, that is it of this vlog. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.